What's going on, everybody? This is Super Robot, and today we have in front of you the Transformers Leader Class, Age of the Primes, the 13 ONYX Prime. Now, ONYX Prime is, I guess, the father of Beast Transformers, I guess. And somebody, he's not. I don't care. I'm going to tell you, I don't care. Okay? I don't really care about all that. I don't care what he does. I bought the robot because he looked cool, and that's it. All right? So get out of people's face with that. Get on my nerves. Just want to tell you all that now. Shoot. But anyway. Yeah, he turned into a dragon, a centaur, and a robot. Personally, I don't care for the centaur mode. It's okay. I didn't care for a six-legged dragon mode, so I opted for the four-legged look, which I thought looks a lot better. He reminds me of Scourge from Cybertron. And I have him somewhere around here, but I got to go find him. But anyway, of course, as we always do, we always look at the packaging, so we're going to move this out the way real quick. And we're going to look at the box. Now, there won't be a lot of comparisons because I was not going to transform a whole bunch of Beast toys, and I couldn't really find any. So you got what you got, but we'll do robot mode comparisons for sure. But here he is on the back. He is 12 steps to transform to the Centaur mode from robot mode, and then 19 steps to the Dragon mode. So there you go right there. Now he comes with the staff, which later on we will show off how it becomes like a bow and arrow type situation. But as you can see here, he's a pretty cool dragon. I think a lot of people, I don't know, so far, I like him, but I just was expecting more. Maybe I'm looking for something that isn't there. I was just expecting to be like, not blown away so far. But anyway, it's a cool figure. I guess a lot of people don't like to hear that. He stands approximately 6 inches in height. The wingspan is about, let's see, when we get all the wings on the straight and narrow, comes out to about close to 10 inches. He has the wings here. And then of course he has the, like roar. He's got this like red eyes, and there's the dragon head. And I mean, I know there are six-legged dragons, but I don't like six-legged dragons. So we're not going to see the six-legged. We'll see six legs in Centaur mode. But here he is, and here's the tail, which will later become the weapon and everything like that. And from the back here, his robot legs. So basically, it's like he's just laying down on all fours. That's all he's doing. So if you're looking for something super intricate, you ain't getting this here. And like I said, I do like the look of him. Even though he looks very organic, he still looks robotic in a sense at the same time. Like I said, the wings do go up and down. They fold in like that, so you could do, some crazy poses if you like. And the arms are basically now robots, feet or whatever. Yeah, it's cool, but it's still cool. It does form. It does form, but it doesn't, if you know what I mean. And there's no place to put this, so you kind of, again, there's weirdness with not having weapon storage or something like that. I feel like he's ancient, so I'm just going to grab Rathalos real quick to kind of fill out the other side here. And I'm not transforming Rathalos again. But you can see what I mean. Wait a minute. We might just do it just for the sake of clarity. Let's do a short 2 and 2. All right, we're back by YouTube Magic, and we now have Rathalos Prime with the ONYX Prime. And yeah, he is transformed into the Dragon mode, and I think that is pretty cool. So yeah, that is what they have right now. That's the only thing I have to comparison and I want to compare to. Now we're going to go ahead and go to Centaur mode, and as always, we'll be back in 2 and 2. All right, we're back by YouTube Magic, and now we have him in Centaur mode. Now let me be clear. It's not the greatest, but once you get the concept of what you got, I kind of like it, man. And again, this is the coolest part of the figure, in my opinion, hands down. Take a sip of soda. Yeah, I like it. So the tail would usually be in the back here, which of course you'd plug in the back there. But the tail also doubles as a weapon. That's right. So what does it double as? Kind of like a bow and arrow thing, kind of like Death Swords. And basically the way that it works is, so you get an idea. You're going to take the staff, the first things first is the tail. So the tail would be right here. You just kind of like plug it up here if you wanted to have. So let's say you just want to have the tail. So let's say you plug the tail. Let's get a good look in there. See, plug the tail right up in there. Is going to be this peg. Plug the tail in here first. So that way you know where we're starting from. Okay. And yes, the head does kind of just fold down. There's not much we can do, but you can get him in this mode. And he has like the articulation at the shoulders because they can kind of pivot in. And he stayed on his robot legs, which now also double as hind legs. And then these would be like part of his chest are now, you know, part of the robot there. And they're very posable. And I think it's cool that we have a Centaur transformer in general. I think that is dope. Okay. So at the end of the day, if you buying this, yeah, it's not, I mean, like I said, so far it's not, I expected more, but then I like it still. And then of course, like I said, the staff, if he wants to just hold the staff, then what you're going to do is rotate, and the fists do rotate. We're going to see that when we get to robot mode. And then basically just, there's the little port right there, kind of where my finger is. And then you just kind of plug it right there and then furl it in, sort of. You can get it right. Not, I think so. Come on, Ed. So we got way more reviews to do today. But you get my point. You can close the hand and then you can get that. Okay. All right. But like I said, to get the bow thing, you're going to take this out. Let's kind of move that down. And then what this does is this basically splits. Some people may use a spudger, but I'm lucky. And you open it up and it looks like a bat. But what you're going to do is underneath here, it's going to hold it like this. That part of the peg there is where he'll grab it, where my finger is going to grab it there. Now, the bow is going to go, or the arrow is going to go underneath this bow like that. So you're going to have that action going on. Then I'm going to flip this upside down because that part's going to go in that same slot in his hand there. So what you're going to do is put the hand there, and I may have to do this off camera. And we got him right back with that posed hand. And I think that's a very cool look. Like I said, I don't have anything to compare it to. Let's see how tall he is. Oh, there's the ruler. The ruler. In this mode, he is a little over 7.5 inches. Or 7 inches. About 7 inches. That is pretty cool. So he's about the size of a leader in this mode. And the only person I had on deck that's nearby that is leader size is Grimlock. So let's get Grimlock here. And I know this has been reissued. This is my original Grimlock from 2021. He was already reviewed many, many years ago now. Is that 3 or 4 years ago? To be exact. And there's the sword from Swoop. I still need to get the comic version. Anybody want to help a brother out with the comic book version of this guy? Please let me know. All right. So here we go. I ain't trying to pay a whole lot for him, man. I just need him for some purposes. But here you go. He's got a nice little size there. There's Grimlock there, you know. And even though he's built on Earth, or depending what lore you're in, you know, does turn to an animal, so to speak. I mean, yeah, you know, here's the beast mode. Here's beast. All right, here's the beast. The dragon. There's the dragon. Everybody base the dragon. The dragon. You gotta watch Teen Titans for that. So there you go. Here's ONYX Prime, Grimlock, and the dragon. Now, after this, we're going to go ahead and go into robot mode, and we'll be back in 2 and 2. And then we're going to do some comparisons with some of the other primes I have on deck. And then we're going to wrap it up. All right, We're back by YouTube Magic, and we now have ONYX Prime in his robot mode. And in his robot mode, let's just go straight to the height. He is approximately, man, he's 8 inches. He's a pretty big boy, standing tall. Now, I guess you can fold down the legs, but I straighten the legs out as much as I can. This is the height he's going to be. So we're going to go over articulation really quick. And as you can see, the legs do go out to here. You can do different things with the legs here if you like. That's up to you, but you know, you're probably not going to do that. And of course, the legs will go back to about right here. And because he's, you know, part beast, he'll have like some weird articulation. The arms do have a nice range, though my arm slides out here on the back with those peg, that peg point on that arm did. But the arm will do 360. You just got to make sure you have these folded down right. Let's get that situated here. Feel like I'm not doing something. But anyway, that's what you can do with the arms. They go back up to there. And then, of course, he does have open and closing hands. But they don't close very well with the weapon in it. But they do rotate. So you can get the I'm angry, I've got power look, of course. And he can do the waist swivel when you lift up the little skirty skirt and lift up the back. He can do that. And then you put that down. And then, of course, Kenny John Claude Van Damme, he can. He's a little loosey-goosey, but not too bad. But he is a little bit on the loosey-goosey side. We're going to get some toys for comparison. Of course, we'll be back in 2 and 2. And we're going to wrap this up because I got to do one more. Now, real quick, I am going to show off the head sculpt here. But you pull down, if I didn't show that off earlier, kind of get that action going on, almost like a animal. And then, like I said, you can pull it down. Now, it is not easy to pull down, and it does hurt the hands somewhat, but you know, you feel like you're not pulling it down enough, but in reality, his face is pretty much down. So you can see it right there. Let's move the staff out of his hand there, and you can see the head sculpt. So if I didn't show it off, I did just now. Now, technically, he doesn't have a way to store his bow weapon. So for the sake of the video, he's just going to be holding on to 2 weapons as, you know, he wants. Because I mean, he's ONYX Prime. I mean, he can do whatever he wants, you know. So first things first, we're going to show him off with Micronus. That's right, because he was just sitting there. I'm not going to review him today. I thought I was, but I'm still, you know, a little under the weather. So it's just, I think I'm tired. I've been doing that first review is 4 characters. So, and then I did, so like I said, I don't expect people to watch it. I'm just getting my stuff knocked out so I can actually play with some toys. And there's Micronus Prime right there. Him, Alpha Trion from the Age of the Primes as well. As you can see there, Optimus Prime. And he's a Prime. Let me straighten him out so he doesn't look like he's doing the weird position. There he goes right there. There's Optimus Prime. Here is the Fallen. The Fallen still my favorite. He's such a big, beefy guy. Fallen. And then last for bonuses, we have my G'd up Nova Prime because he's a G. You know what I'm saying? You gotta put them wings on him. There you go. And then there's Nova Prime. So yeah. And Nova Prime does look nice. I'm not gonna lie. Every time I look at him, I feel like he's just impressive. So there you go. Let's kind of straighten him out just a little bit. Bring out the camera just a tad so we can get our rule of thirds. And yeah, I like that. That's perfect. All right, let's go to final thoughts. And final thoughts, ONYX Prime is a cool transformer. Like, without question, every time we get a 13 primes in our hand, we get something that is, you know, great, decent. Some people, well, you know, I feel like the hype, once we see the figure, has been kind of like getting to us. ONYX Prime, it seemed like he was supposed to be like this super duper, like, oh my goodness, you got to get this figure. And if you're collecting the 13 Primes, yes, but it's not, it's like, oh, okay, it's cool, yeah, but it doesn't, like, I feel like things need to fold and lock in place, and they don't do that quite well. You know, it's you almost here and almost there type deal. And I think this toy could have been much better, and I still feel like there's some things that were left out, mainly with how things connect weapon storage. This guy should be like, he should be able to, you know, I know they're using these, and it just, the bow part looks so cheap, you know, but I like the look of it, you know. It's not like Death Source, but it's very close. Other than that, though, he has the height, he has the look, he does look like he could hurt you. The Centaur mode is just bananas. I love it. Everything about the figure I like. I'm glad to have gotten him. You know, it's just one of those things, man. I had to pick him up, and I'll probably get my Cronus Prime done in the next few days, but I think I'm going to chill for the day. I just want to relax, eat a piece of pie, set on my tongue. All right, y'all. So this is the review of ONYX Prime. My name is Super Robot Ed. If there's any news, I will report today. Didn't report any yesterday. I just didn't feel like it. So what are your thoughts? You like ONYX Prime? I do. This is Super Robot Ed, bringing my news reveals today. I'm going to see you soon. Bye-bye.